All right. Okay, I think we can start on the next slide if that's cool. So welcome to time management. I like these quotes. The key is not spending time, but investing in it. And that's by the late Dr. Stephen Covey, who wrote the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And time is what we want most, but we use the worst. So that's William Penn. Yeah, next slide, and we'll keep moving. And what we're going to look at today is time of our lives, powerful tools to help you master the clock and get balance, being unstoppable, and setting some good goals. So I think we can keep moving ahead on the next slide. So, you know, in terms of how we spend our time, I got these, you'd be interested to see where we spend a lot of time. 2.5 years of our lives driving a car, 6 months waiting at red lights, 5 years waiting in line, 6 years eating, 1 year looking for misplaced objects, 23 years of our lives sleeping, which is, I don't know, that's a little bit of a surprise for me. We also spend our time 2 years trying to return phone calls to people who never seem to be in, 7 years in the bathroom, showering and whatnot, getting ready, cutting your hair like me, yeah, see? 8 months opening junk mail, and we didn't even mention email or how much time we spend on social media, right? So you probably add a couple years just with that alone. And then, wait, the next slide. So what this totals, all these hours that we spend, is 50 years of our life. That's what it adds up to. So we spend 45% of each day meeting our biological needs. And then 8 hours sleeping, 2 hours eating, 1 hour dressing and grooming. So what these are maintenance tasks. So, you know, hair grooming, eating, driving, walking. And then we have value tasks, like working on a project or working on our business plan or developing our business or building our contacts or writing or teaching, whatever it is. Those are called value tasks. And then we have what's called enhancement tasks. That's where we learn, we read, we practice music, we paint, or we do art, right? So those are enhancement tasks. So you want to look at all your tasks and see where you can combine tasks to maximize your time. So can you read as you take the subway? So you're doing an enhancement task and a maintenance task. Can you listen to an audiobook as you walk or drive, right? So you're combining tasks, and that way you can master the clock a little bit better. Next slide. So good time management demands that the first place you look is decide in your life and what you're doing, like what's crucial and what's not crucial. And then you have to decide, well, what's crucial for you, and make a list of the crucial items on your to-do list and get those things done first. Remember, the things that will give you the biggest payoff of time invested are the crucial things, right? The crucial things are the things like I've got to call clients, or I have to have Zoom calls with my clients, or I've got to work on my business plan. These things are crucial for you to succeed and do well and move forward in life, right? Everything else you can label not crucial. Even time with your family or friends, that's crucial, right? Because your family needs you. So the next slide is, we're really guided by logic and emotion as far as time management goes. So crucial items are typically long and maybe difficult to achieve, whereas the non-crucial items might be quicker and more fun. And a crucial item might be to work on a sales presentation, one that's long, maybe tedious and challenging, and we don't really want to do it. So, you know, also on my desk is some junk mail or email, or I can surf Facebook, right? And that's easier to go through your junk mail, your social media, your email, than it is to work on an important presentation. So most of us take the easy, less stressful task first. And what I really encourage you to do is start to take on the challenging task. Get that done first, and then you can have more fun at the end of the day working on the less sort of crucial items. Make sense? Sales trainer and speaker Brian Tracy calls it drink the frog. So can you imagine drinking a frog? Not very tasty, right? Kind of really unappealing. And so you want to drink the frog first. Get through those tough, crucial items in your day first, and then you can sort of enjoy and ease into the rest of the day. Next slide. So time management really takes planning, and it starts with having a goal in mind. What do you want to achieve this week? So you may need help to achieve your goals, so don't be afraid to ask for help. And the other thing in the next slide is it's really important to have a big why, right? So why do you want to do a business? You know, what's the thing you want? What's the problem you want to solve? What's this big gift you've got that you want to share with the world? And you know what? It could be your music. It could be your art. It could be, hey, I've got a really cool way to help people and businesses save money. So have a big why. And then take that why and turn it into an action and start acting on it. Turn your must and turn your why into a must and take action. Tony Robbins says, turn your shoulds into musts. So what are 3 shoulds you might want to change into a must? Think about that moving forward. What are things, yeah, I should do that, but how do you shift that from being a should to a must? And then what's one big thing you might want to take action on the moment you leave here today? So think of that mentally and write it down. You know, yeah, you know what? I'm going to start this project, or I'm going to, you know, work on my business plan, or I'm going to read that book, or I'm going to take this workshop next Thursday, right? And always remember, don't take yourself too seriously, right? So, you know, you got to laugh it off. Truthfully, what happens today won't matter in 5 years. And the other really important thing is take the word try out of your vocabulary. Yoda from Star Wars said once, there is no try, there is only do or do not. So you choose. Do you want to do it or do you not? And then be okay with that, right? Next slide. So it's really important to go for your goals and be real about it. Be real about your goals. What do you think is realistic? Be in integrity. Do it like it matters. You know, do it like your life depends on it. Move mountains to be your word rather. And then overcome those fears that might come up for you around your goals. And one way to overcome your fears is look at what's the worst thing that can happen and what's the best thing that can happen. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yep.
Okay. So next slide. I learned this from Darren Hardy, who is a success, used to be the editor of Success Magazine. And what he does is he schedules his week ahead of time. So you might want to start to do that. You know, schedule your work and your week ahead of time and block out time for yourself during the week. You know, to work on those big crucial goals and say, I'm going to do this all day long gets tedious. So maybe just say, you know what, I'm going to work on my sales presentation, for example, for an hour on Monday, an hour on Tuesday, a half hour on Wednesday, another hour on Friday, right? So that way you're leaving room for other things in your life that are also important. It's important to get your exercise. It's important to spend time with family and friends. It's important to work on other aspects of your business or your work. So what I like to advise is that you plan your week ahead of time, and then you block time out for the various activities you need to do in your life. Okay, really important. And next slide, the blue screen. And then you want to work the plan. So have a plan. You know, plan your week every Sunday before the week starts and think like ahead. Like, what do I want to accomplish this week, right? And then what happens too when you're kind of thinking ahead, if some emergency comes up in the moment to grab your attention, then you can maybe put off your crucial, you know, aspects to your planning and handle that emergency. So that also there's some flexibility there for you, right? Because like if there's an emergency that comes up, you can then allot maybe 2 hours the next day towards those crucial items. All right, next slide. One thing you really need to manage is the curse of perfectionism. And perfectionism is the pressure you put on yourself to do everything perfectly. And the thing is, there is no perfect. It's only for you, right? So you got to just watch the being perfect in your life. So, you might prepare for a client presentation, let's say, and you'll put 20% of your time to achieve an 80% result. So Brene Brown, author, speaker, talks about the curse of perfectionism. And what emerged, she says, for me in the data, that perfectionism is not about striving for excellence or healthy striving. It's not good for us. What she told Oprah in an interview, Oprah Winfrey, is perfectionism is a way of thinking and feeling. And if I look perfect, if I do it perfect, if I work perfect, if I live perfect, I can avoid and minimize shame, blame, and judgment from others. So that's what the root of perfectionism is. It's avoiding shame and embarrassment. And, sometimes you got to make mistakes and fail, and it's okay, right? Take ownership of it. Next slide. So here's what happens when we do have, we suffer the curse of perfectionism, is 80% of the potential result is not enough. So people think, oh, I got to achieve 100%. It's got to be perfect. And that's really an unrealistic goal in and of itself, because there's no such thing as true perfectionism. No matter how many times you rewrite your client presentation, to be a perfectionist is really tough to achieve. So you just want to do the best you can and let it go, right? Let it go. And then you want to start having goals around your what you want to achieve. And when you're setting goals, it's really important, next slide, to make sure you set SMART goals around your, those crucial items, around the tasks you want to achieve. Set SMART goals. Be specific in terms of your goal setting, right? It's great to say, yeah, I want to earn a lot of money this year, but how much? So be specific. Yeah, I'd like to earn 100,000, right? Make it measurable. Yeah, I'm going to earn 100,000 over time. I'm going to earn 10,000 every month, right? So make it measurable. Make it attainable. Is 100,000 really attainable or realistic for you, right? Make it realistic. Can you actually do it? Can you, is this a realistic goal given the current situation and what you feel you can do in your life? And make it timely. Make sure that you can achieve these goals in a timely fashion. So make sure that when you're working on projects, when you're setting your goals every week, and the goals that you're writing down each day, make sure that you've got an action plan or a business plan, and make sure the goals you set in those are smart. Like they're doable, they're possible. All right, next slide. We're almost done. You want to be more productive too, right? So one of the things about productivity is to work in your time. Like for me, I'm a morning person, so I work best in the morning. So maybe, schedule your meetings when you're most productive and more alert. I just spoke to a client today, and she's productive in the afternoon. Both are okay. Both times are okay. You just need to decide what's your best time, right? So if you're not a morning person, try schedule your meetings for the afternoon. Let maybe co-workers or colleagues or business associates know that maybe, what your best times are. So let them know. Or if you're going to be away, let them know so people can cover for you. And always, always, always plan ahead. So here's some productivity tips, and we're almost done. Make sure you don't forget about important events in your life, such as doctor appointments. Mark your calendar for these. Use a month at a glance system. Break it down into a daily planner. I like carrying a planner or your cell phone everywhere, and plan your year if you can, a year ahead of time too. So next slide is an example of a desk planner. I use that. I use a calendar, and I use my computer too to be on track with my my actions and activities and the things I need to do to get my business done. All right, next slide. Just a couple more tips, by the way, for good time management. Pre-write your thank you cards to clients. Make a gift list of those important in your life. So take time out to build a wish list of things to do, and learn to delegate, and also have a purpose and agenda to your meetings. I find you can waste a lot of time meeting people, and that can take up a ton of time, especially in person. You know, you got to drive there, you got to drive back. So watch your meeting time and make sure there's a clear purpose and an agenda to it. I think we can go to the next slide. So basically, planning helps. Your time is worth it, and so are you. Some last time management tips, and then we'll close off. Just, you know, again, oh, you know what, I've got these, so let's skip that slide. Sorry about that. And now we put off the best to last for this presentation, and it's about overcoming procrastination. So do your daily planning, set your priorities. So remember, is this item crucial or not, right? If it's crucial, get to it. Remember, do the tough stuff first, and then the rest of your day is easy. Chunk things down, do a bit at a time. In other words, Rome was not built in a day, and just do it. You know, there's nothing to it but to do it. Schedule bigger tasks in your daily planner and assign a specific amount of time. Also set a deadline and stick to it. Have somebody hold you accountable, a buddy, right? Did you know that if you have something pleasurable to look forward to, you'll find it much easier to do the hard thing, and even a hard thing. If you make it fun, chances are you're going to accomplish it. And wait, we have a bonus tip: set BHAGs. So I like this concept. BHAGs have big, hairy, audacious goals, because those big, hairy, audacious goals are going to get your adrenaline running, and they're going to get you out of bed in the morning. And, you know, be like Nike and just do it, right? Just do it. Next slide. Lastly, you know, really important, just to face your fears. It's okay if you fail, right? Be okay with not being perfect. Perfect does not exist. Just get going, start something, do something, take an action, and adjust as you go. The key is get into action around your goals and use your time wisely. It's like, you know, just do it. Mel Robbins, author, speaker, coach, wrote a book which I really recommend. It's called The 5-Second Rule. And she says that often we procrastinate and we don't make use of our time. We don't make our goals happen because we get into our head about it, and we get into the fear about it. And it's important that if we want to do something, that you, instead of thinking about it, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, right? And her book is called The 5-Second Rule, and I really recommend you check it out. And also, you know, discover what you like to work on. Discover the thing that makes your heart sing. Discover what makes you unique. You know, discover and be okay with your uniqueness and your differences. So really important to do. And just some, just some resources here. So maybe you can get a hold of these. These are some websites to check out to help you do time management. And lastly, moving forward, what's one thing you're going to be unstoppable about this year? Are you open to getting an accountability partner or a mentor? Really important to have to help you achieve what you want to achieve. And what's the first action step you're going to do after today that's going to help you achieve your goals? And what are 3 to 5 actions you can complete this month in June to help you grow your business or advance what projects you're working on? And when will you complete it by? Really important. I'm almost done. I have a special offer. I've got a 4 weeks of in-depth sales training, webinar style, coming up in June. And it's plus you get 2 30-minute coaching sessions with me, a PDF of my book, The Weekly 3, and my sales challenge workbook. Usually it's $2.99 each, but until next Monday, it's $107 plus HST. So if you're interested in that, I'd love to chat with you about that. And this is where you get a hold of me, my website, my email, and that's my home landline. All right, not a cell phone. So if you text me, I won't really know who it is. And we're done.
The schedule for this month in June. Okay, so we got 9 sessions including today. So we got 8 on this list. The next one is next Tuesday. Now we kind of scale back from 3 times a week to twice a week. So this is really something that we are looking at, you know, maybe more manageable for twice a week than 3 times a week. So the next one is Elizabeth Long. She was on the list in May, and she's our immigration lawyer. She's talk about how to attract international investment if immigration. So if you have colleagues, friends, team members that kind of thinking about this immigration, that is something that you can invite them to. And then the next one on next Friday is the 5 factors of determining real estate value for max. So we got many others. I want to highlight one, which is the last one on June 30th. It's a success story, a Canadian success story of an entrepreneur. It's going to be an interview from Vancouver with a Toronto entrepreneur, so we can bring this to the Vancouver audience as well. How doing businesses can be successful in Canada. So for those who are entrepreneurs out there, invite your entrepreneur friends. I'm sure this is going to have a great value on that. Elizabeth was one of our speakers, so many of you have heard about her. So please join us. The invite will go out soon on your social media, and register for next Tuesday. The last thing I'd like to also remind you is that the special networking event for the Canadian Sales Career Society next Thursday at 4:30 to 5:45. I know that some of you are in sales, especially insurance sales, and I would like to invite those in your company to join as well. So that will be, I'm sure there's value created by learning empathy and also learning how to shift our sales paradigm. So on that note, Eddie, you have any last minute or last closing comments?
I will say one thing is that, David, you need to change your presentation. You mentioned about 5 years rating in 9s because of the pandemic. Maybe you have to add 1 more year.
Yeah, that's a great comment.
Outside right now, okay? And actually, I'm very grateful that people like you to join our sections. Thank you so much, David, once again.
Thanks.
Yeah,
you're right.
Type in your chat box of a thank you note to David, and we can not do this, but I'll try to do this every time that I'll give you a round of applause.
No, you're so welcome, and you're right, Eddie. You know, waiting in line at Loblaws. You know, it's like, yeah, it's another few years right there, right?
Okay. Yes. Okay. We have to go outside and wait again right now.
Yeah.
So thank you, and you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you. Bye.